Kumusta ka mo? Hi, it's Viktoria Vox. It has been a while. I know, I missed like a week of shooting. You know, when you're pregnant and the hormones are just through the roof? Well, guess what? Mine has been through the roof for the past couple of weeks, but I'm just trying to push it through. But then again, when it hits you, And now, last week, it really did hit me. I'm like, no, I don't want to do anything, and I don't want to be guilty of not doing anything. And here we are. I am back. And let's talk about being vulnerable. Just like the story that I told you, I became vulnerable by telling you the struggles that I have about pregnancy. And it's okay to be vulnerable, right? Well, let's talk more about that. Being human already makes us vulnerable to other humans. In fact, we've romanticized being strong so much it hurts. We love strong women, of course. We love to teach our kids to be strong no matter what. And what happens when we show any vulnerability? We express ourselves. We trust people. We make sacrifices, even public ones. We make choices that others can judge us for whether we like it or not. We reveal truths that people may not want to hear. That's how vulnerable we already are. According to Brené Brown, I love her so much. Like, there was just so many emotions when I watched her TEDx. Oh my God, I love Brené Brown. Anyway, according to Brené Brown, vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. It is when we step out of our comfort zone where we have lesser control than we usually do. Pero ang iban sa aton, we don't like to see that because they too might feel what you feel and would prefer to stay quiet as they do because they believe that vulnerability shows no pride or strong character. Sometimes being vulnerable is exciting, like proposing to your lover or finding out whether or not you passed the board exams or performing on stage. Other times they're not safe or healthy or even necessary. Here are situations that make you vulnerable. Being yourself. When you're being your true self, your personality shines. Your actions and reactions are truly you. It's like a child who gets excited when he sees butterfly or rainbow, or a person says something funny, silly, and can laugh about themselves. Or they express fear or sadness or any reason for concern about another person. When children are not allowed to be themselves, like when you tell them at an early age, "Nagay dahibi, bala di ba big boy ka na?" Telling your 4-year-old son, "Big boy na," they may end up growing up hiding who they are. Pag dako nila, hambalan lang sila nga, do hindi ta nakakilala. No, ma'am. You just never got to know your kid because you insisted they only show who you want them to be. Some people are still dragging themselves in that mascot they show to the world because it really is easier to just be the version that society likes. The only version of you that society wants to see, the one they're comfortable with. Some people will only show what they allow the world to see. Speaking your truth, if you're honest about your feelings, your goals and dreams, you're vulnerable. Even in sensitive times, we are not allowed to feel sad, to weep, to set boundaries because those are considered vulnerable. Ang tipo na bilang bago ka palang ganit nagbata, tapos syempre emotions, grabe, di ba? Gihibi ka, masingga kaon ka lang, gihibi ka tulo luha mo, tapos hambalan ka nga, nagay da hibi, gusto mo magbuang? Hindi ko pwede ka hibi. Hindi ko pwede ka show sa akon nga emotions, nga akon nga struggles. And me showing my vulnerability is weakness? Me acknowledging my emotions is considered as buang? Excuse me? Boys are told not to cry or to be soft when they get hurt because it makes them look weak and gay. Maghibi ka gani ang balan ka pa nga nagay da hibi. Dogi ka hipos na. Hipos na bisan nasakitan ka, bisan ginsakit kanila. Why does it annoy people when a person cries? Why? Letting yourself feel. People tell you don't be sad na. They say be happy. As if you should be happy kung may nadula si mo. They say stay positive, pero sometimes hopeless ka na or depressed pa. And they also say, don't get mad, or why are you so angry? Calm down. As if wala lang may natabo to trigger a natural human reaction to being hurt, being betrayed, or being gaslit. asking for help. There comes a time when you can't do it all by yourself. When you're a working parent, kis akin lang mo gid sang makababysit, and sometimes it feels hard to ask for help. Bisan mulang na nga bagay, ha? Sometimes you really need help financially. Sometimes you need help with work. Trusting someone. Trust is a very important ingredient in a relationship. Sometimes we're afraid to be judged, being blamed, or being in a position we have no control over. Kung i-confront mo ang imo family member kung paano kanila nasakitan, balis ka dun pa na nila simo. Hambalan mo ang friend mo sa imo sekreto kay ginatrust mo siya nga hindi kaniya pag i-judge. Or basi i-judge man, pero ginatrust mo nga ang sekreto mo safe sa iya. You talk to your boyfriend or girlfriend about them cheating on you or seeming to be falling out of love or to break up with them. You open up to your family and friends about wanting to leave your husband or your boyfriend and knowing they might not agree with your decision, saying yes or no. Let's say you want to say no to an invitation to a party, or you want to say yes to a public interview. Simple decisions can put us in a vulnerable position. Or let's say you had a fallout with your friend and you want to talk, or she wants to talk. Maybe you're still hurt, confused, or angry, and whether you agree or refuse to meet this person, you're opening yourself up to vulnerability. Sometimes magwa ka gid na iya nga malain kung nang indi ka. Kung mag-oo ka, either things will get better with a calm confrontation, or you encounter gaslighting or guilt tripping. Placing boundaries. For example, hambalan mo sister mo or friend mo nga pamangkuton ka anay bago uhulamon o kunkwaon mga gamit mo, di ba? Or you insist that people stop showing up to your house unannounced. Or nag-move out ka to live on your own tapos ang nanay mo go wild. Kay gusto ya dira ka lang sa puderya samtang single ka or bisan kapamana ka na gani. Yes, you are vulnerable to criticism and sometimes violent confrontations when you decide to set boundaries for your own privacy, safety, and peace of mind. When we criticize people for being vulnerable, we're actually criticizing them for just being human. When people share their truth online and get bashed for it, we say, sala mo kay gin-post mo na mo, sala mo kay nag-inom-inom kada, sala mo kay gasalig-salig kada, sala mo kay ginsugid mo da, you're soft. You're too much. Grabe ka gigya, dapat malisensyaan kung pwede ka bisita da. Nag-move out ka tapos mangayo ka malang gali bulig. Ka negative C mo, you're too vocal. You're too honest. You just can't suffer quietly. You're so dramatic, you look weak. And this is why people are afraid to be vulnerable people. If you're vulnerable, you're setting yourself up for blame. That's what society says about you. You're supposed to be blamed for being vulnerable, for being sad, for being emotional, for being sensitive. And we all know how society loves to victim blame for being vulnerable and accusing them of having a victim mentality, which isn't the case. If you're soft, if you're weak, you're vulnerable. And to our dear old culture, to be vulnerable is shameful enough. Their reactions to what we say, do, or have, as if there's nothing else to do besides to stop criticizing others for sharing their truth, for setting boundaries, or for doing what is best for themselves. It's usual for people to feel uncomfortable or cringe when they see you share something very personal, embarrassing, or deep about yourself. Do sila na lang ko na nahuya. But should you be ashamed of it? Should you be shamed for sharing your truth or asking for help, for setting boundaries? But other people wouldn't have so much power if we just stopped caring. But we're humans, and vulnerability is a feeling. And it's not just in our heads. It's normal not to want to feel pain or even pleasure for some reasons, but feelings are natural. It's natural to feel happy about finally getting a gift you've always wanted, just as it's natural to feel so heartbroken when the love of your life breaks up with you. Having feelings does not make you vulnerable. It's when you're expressing them that people think you're so fragile, because they're more comfortable with you being silent, subservient, and suppressed. And it's okay to be scared of being vulnerable. And it's okay to be vulnerable. To be vulnerable is to be human. To be vulnerable is to be real. This is the 47th episode of this makeup therapy series, and if you like content such as this, please hit the like, the share, comment your thoughts down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.